baseball in a short video posted to social media. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Get renter's insurance to protect the things that make your place a home, including coverage for theft or damage. Visit Progressive.com.
You're listening to Nightside with Levon Putney on WCBS 880 News.
69 degrees at LaGuardia, where they clock 25-mile-an-hour winds. A little breezy out there tonight, but feels good in the 60s for the most part. And then overnight, bottoming out to about 58 degrees in New York City, closer to 50 in outlying suburbs, and a few more days of some of this beautiful, nice, cool weather in store here. WCBS News Time, 10:03.
Campaign 2024 on WCBS.
We know New York City Mayor Eric Adams says he was going to be at the DNC tonight in Chicago, but we also know that we have CBS News correspondent Matt Piper, too, there in Chicago, looking at the latest, and just saw the former President Clinton up on stage. And what's going on now, Matt?
Yes, that's right, Levon. Former President Bill Clinton just left the stage. He began his 12th consecutive convention address, opening his remarks by thanking President Biden and praising Kamala Harris. And then he eventually turned his focus to Donald Trump, and he asked people to consider who will work for them in the White House. He said Donald Trump is a me person. Kamala Harris is a you person. After former President Clinton, it was Nancy Pelosi, and we now have a couple other speakers in between her. And next up is Amanda Gorman, who is the poet who has become very famous. And then after her comes Oprah Winfrey, and eventually Secretary Pete Buttigieg. And then to close out the night, in about an hour or so, is Tim Walz, who is Kamala Harris's running mate.
All right. And so far, though, had a lot of performances, a lot of high-profile celebrities, singers on stage tonight.
So far, yeah, we heard from Stevie Wonder. He actually spoke for a few minutes first, and then before you knew it, he had a band and about 8 dancers behind him to do one of his most famous songs. And later in the next hour, we're going to have John Legend and Sheila E. perform. John Legend is going to do Let's Go Crazy in honor of Prince for the state of Minnesota. If your listeners were watching or listening last night, every time a state came up, DJ Cassidy did a really good job here and tried to focus a song based on a state. So when Minnesota came up last night, it was a song by Prince, and they're going to do that again tonight, but they're just going to do it live with John Legend.
Pretty appropriate of John Legend, Sheila E. I can't wait to see that one. The CBS News correspondent, Matt Piper. Thank you for the report, man.
You're welcome.
All right, it's 10:05 here on Nightside. Well, North Jersey Congressman Bill Pascrell passed away today after representing Passaic County's Patterson area for 14 terms on Capitol Hill.
A Patterson resident and former Patterson mayor, Pascrell was first elected to Congress in 1996. He had served on the House Ways and Means Committee since 2007. Pascrell is widely known for being an advocate for first responders, especially firefighters. He worked to bring grants back to his district and spearheaded the Firefighter Investment and Response Enhancement Act of 2000 to establish the only federal program that delivers grant dollars directly to fire departments across America. Pascrell, as you might know, had recently spent a 24-day hospitalization during which he needed what his staff said was breathing assistance. He was released, but then on the 11th of August suffered a medical setback. Bridget Quinn, WCBS 880 News.
And speaking of congressmen, well, not even they are protected from hackers.
The crime, a massive data breach at a company that does background checks. The victims, 2.9 million people, including Democratic Congressman Richie Torres, who represents the 15th District in the Bronx. He spoke to 1010 Wins.
I am among the millions of Americans whose Social Security number was not only hacked, but leaked onto the dark web.
The company, National Public Data, confirmed the breach, including names, email addresses, phone numbers, mailing addresses, along with Social Security numbers, by a cyber criminal that calls itself VOC.
It's an alias that's meant to deceive.
Find out if you're a victim too. Go to pentester.com. In the Bronx, Monica Guy, WCBS 880 News.
It's 10:07. You know, there are some Republican lawmakers on Long Island who are not happy to hear reports that New York Governor Kathy Hochul is planning on bringing back the MTA's congestion pricing plan after the November election.
The governor should just be straightforward now and frankly tell everybody what she's going to do. Or, in our case, you know what, we say you eliminate it. The residents want it gone, the commuters want it gone, and she knows that. She's seen the polling. It's time for her to act like a governor and listen to the residents.
Hempstead Town Supervisor Donald Clive in there. MTA spokesman John McCarthy, boy, did he put out a statement to respond saying, quote, "While we appreciate random outbursts from political machine puppets, the MTA is running 40% more service on Long Island with a budget that is 3% lower than before COVID." End quote. Apparently, McCarthy's way of saying the MTA could use the congestion pricing tolls to support the extra service Long Island is getting through the LIRR. And we'll just ignore his statement calling Clavin a political machine puppet with random outbursts. Well, here at 10:08, time for traffic and weather together on the 8th. What are you laughing, Susan Brown?
You're a hoot. I don't know. It's not a hoot, traffic. And that's why I'm here to help you through it. The outbound George upper deck, it's looking a little bit better. It's loosening up a touch. We're looking at maybe 30 minutes or less now. Earlier issues had the upper deck shut down going into Jersey, but now it's back open.